Yo, what is going on, guys? I'm back in the car. Thank you so much for clicking on this YouTube video. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the first part of my day trading strategy that I'm currently trading. I'm also in the process of trading and basically just backtesting all of 2024 with a variation of this strategy. But either one of those two, both include this one thing that I'm going to be going over in this pretty short video. So make sure you stay till the end. As you all can see, I'm literally in the whip right now. So let me go ahead and break it down. What I'm going to be talking about mainly is the first part. What do I first look at as soon as I open the charts? What am I actually looking for? What's that first step into actually beginning to formulate and create a trade for the day, or if I'm even going to be taking one at all? In this step, I don't know if I'm going to be taking a trade or not, but it's setting me up to understand what direction am I really looking for to take a trade in. So we're going to break it down how I find daily bias fairly quickly. Honestly, it's a lot easier than you think. I find it in looking at the market for a few minutes max, and I'm gonna break it down in this video. We do have a completely free Discord if you want to see me and my team every single trade that we take broken down, win or lose, it doesn't matter. And a completely free course that's also made in-house. That's linked in the top of the description below if you want to join. So let's go ahead and break this down. So what we're going to be going over is basically finding daily bias in a few steps here, okay? So I've made other videos on this, but I'm going to make this a little series basically to break down my current strategy, and then go more in depth into every single one with a specific video for every single step. So today's going to be part one is going to be on the daily bias, how I find it real quick. Super simple and easy. So first thing I'm going to be going to do is I'm going to be looking for the 4-hour time frame. Okay, I'm going to go on the 4-hour time frame, and then in the next video we'll talk about finding a draw on liquidity. That one should be fairly simple as well, but today we're just going to be talking about what's the direction of the market, what are we really looking to get out of the market here. Okay, so finding daily bias, that's going to be on the 4-hour time frame mainly. It'll be 4-hour time frame, or along with like the 1-hour time frame, but mainly the 4 hours. So as soon as we open up the 4-hour, for example, right now, we can tell what direction the market is in, right? So basically we want to identify on the 4-hour time frame current market trend. Okay, so current market trend, how do we actually do that? The way I do it personally is my opinion, and it works for me, is I understand that, and the reason why we're looking on the 4 hours, because most of people, we trade 4-hour sessions and you don't even realize it. So if you trade from 9:30 a.m. New York till about, typically you'll trade that entire morning session looking for a trade in the morning. That's going to be that first 10 a.m. candle, and most people don't realize that. That first 10 a.m. candle tells you a lot about price action. So looking at the past and understanding how these 10 a.m. candles open and move tells you a lot. So we're going to be using the 4-hour time frame to find our daily bias, because we're trading in that 4-hour session most of the time, right? So market trend, what are we looking at here? Obviously we can see it's bearish, right? But if we get more specific into it, why is it bearish? Obviously we've been going down. ABC mouse looking price action, right? We're going down. Market, we're literally crashing like crazy right now. Now, what do we want to see? There's a bunch of signals that we can look at to identify the bias, right? So first thing we want to look at is just straight up structure. So first thing we're going to look at is structure. So structure, what is structure telling us? So we have a high right here. I'm going to start drawing stuff. So we have a high right here. We have a low right here. We break that low, so we form a lower low. Okay, we push back up, forming a lower high. We break even this low right here, so we form another low right here, right? We form a lower high, and that gets confirmed when we form this lower low, confirming that this was a lower high. That's bearish structure. Now, here we end up actually breaking to the upside. Okay, we end up breaking to the upside, but we actually don't even get a candle closure above this wick. So we technically don't even break structure with strength to the upside, but as you can see, we actually we put in a higher high right here, and then we actually end up closing below this level right here. So we're broke structure again to the downside. Let me remove all these points. So now that we understand that we're still in bearish structure on the 4 hour, we want to go ahead and look at PD arrays, or maybe more importantly, imbalances. So how are imbalances getting respected? Basically, some people call it order flow. What are we looking at here? So open up your rectangle tool, mark out every single 4 hour fair value gap that is relevant. So obviously we have this one. No other ones are relevant. We can remove this up here. This is not really relevant. So we have this one. Why is it relevant? As we can see, once we tap into this fair value gap, price respects it. We tap in. We make a lower low. What happens? Eventually, we end up completely filling it, inversing this fair value gap, creating another bullish one. So now this one doesn't matter. We got eaten up. That's a bullish sign. We end up closing structure to the upside. What do we want to see if we're going to continue to the upside even further? We want to see bullish order flow hold, okay, continue. So what would that mean? We generate this fair value gap on the 4 hour. We would want to see price respect this fair value gap, and as you can see, we literally don't. We destroy it, right? We destroy this fair value gap. What is that telling us? It is telling us that we're bearish. Okay. Here we retest it again. That's a beautiful candle right there. Actually, damn. We retest it again, and then we fall further and draw to these lows right here. This was actually a beautiful inversion entry today. Let's take a look into what actually happened today if we go into the 5-minute time frame. If we go into the 5-minute time frame, where's 2 p.m.? 2 p.m. is right here. So at 2 p.m. we tap into this gap. Come down here. We end up closing below here. And then we dump down and we take out that liquidity. So how do I go to the 4 hour? 4 hour. Oh shit. 4 hour. But yeah, so pretty much 2 steps there. We find structure on the 4 hour, it's bearish, and then confirm it by order flow or using imbalances. I like to use fair value gaps. It just makes it super clear because it's literally boxes. It's like kindergarten for trading analysis and voice crack. And yeah, so we're still bearish on the market. I expect us to, again, once this candle closes out, which I'm pretty sure it has, or it's gonna very soon, this one, it's not, hasn't closed yet. We'll most likely retrace into here, and if we are to continue lower, we'll most likely wick through this, not really close above it, and then continue to push further down, most likely targeting these lows next. Obviously, because if we're in bearish structure, this is alluding to the next video. If we're in bearish structure, we are going to draw to the next low before getting another retracement, right? So again, the market shifted pretty strongly, as we can see, and you can find examples of this pretty much everywhere. So I'll give you guys another example. We'll just pick one out, a bullish example here. So when we were chopping around February, we actually had decent trends within the chop on the 4 hour. So as we can see, we had a huge dump. We get a tiny little baby fair value gap here, right? I wouldn't be confirmed structure yet because we don't actually have any structure built up yet. This is just a high, a low. Now once we get into here, now we're starting to build some bullish structure. So now we'll be ready to take longs. So right here, boom, draw it out. What do we have? We respect it, we wick through it, continue pushing up, and guess what? Where do we target? We target this high right here. So what happens next? Same thing, we get another gap, and what happens? Price retraces into it, respects it. Where do we headed to next? The last high. So what happens again? I don't even know what the hell this is. Right here we get another gap. What happens? We push up, price respects it, takes out that high and pushes even further. We actually took out this entire bearish fair value gap right here. We end up dumping down and then start the cycle all over again. Here we don't get any quick retracements down, but let's see if we can find any here. We can just tell this is bearish structure though. Obviously we're making lower lows. There's no space here, very choppy. The market hasn't been that well. Oh, here we have a good example. Well, decent. Huge. This is just a massive gap though. Down, retrace into it. This is just basics of, how the market moves. Obviously, if the market displaces in a quick speed in one direction, it's going to leave behind a fair value gap, and any sort of retrace will most likely tap into it before we respect it. So fair value gaps, that's why I like them. They just represent how structure really moves and builds in the market in terms of candlesticks or just patterns of going up and down in a trend. So that's what I like about them. I'm sure if we don't fade this fair value gap to the upside, we'll most likely push down to these lows either tomorrow or soon this week, unless we close above here, retest it, and keep pushing up further, filling this gap as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. That was pretty much it for this video. Again, if y'all want to check out every single trade me and my team take, we have a bunch of people that trade live every single morning there for completely free. Just go ahead and check the link in the description, and you can join us there, and we have a free course and just chat for you guys to hang around at. And this guy actually made some bread with us. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching from my car.